the beautiful thing about Israel is that this Davidic kingdom, although wiped out, was never wiped out completely from the history of humanity. And this is really a miracle. And this is where we know that God's hand is guiding Israel. If you study world history, all the great empires, whether the Assyrian, the Babylonians, the Medes, the Greek, the Roman Empire, what do we see of them today? It were the most powerful empires. Now we only see statues in the museum. Israel was such a small kingdom. And even today, Israel still exists. This is really the work of God. God can do the unthinkable. This is why we are called to have faith in the God of Israel. Although they were exiled for 70 years in Babylon, again through the miracle of divine intervention, the new emperor Cyrus, the Persian Empire, invited them to go back to rebuild Jerusalem 70 years later on. Unimaginable, really. But it happened. That's why today Israel still exists. That is why the promise to David that his kingdom will never end is still valid. Because Jesus, who came from the Davidic dynasty, today reigns all over the world. And so the promise made to David has never been dissolved. God's decision is irrevocable. Today, gospel again is so beautiful because it really brings out the beauty, the mercy of God. God was not just merciful in Jesus, He was creative and very personal in His love. We are told that this leper came to Jesus. And what did Jesus do? Jesus not only healed him, Jesus touched him. Again, unthinkable. Not only he was ritually contaminated, but he could have been infected. Jesus was not afraid. And why did he touch this leper? Because the leper not only needed physical healing, what he needed most was emotional, spiritual healing. In fact, the greatest suffering is not physical suffering. It's emotional suffering, spiritual suffering. Because physical, we still can tolerate. Emotional, to be cut off from the community, to be cut off from our loved ones, to be alienated from people. That is the most cruel punishment. We cannot be near to anybody. And that's why leprosy is always a symbol of sin as well. And Jesus has come not just to heal us physically, He has come to heal us emotionally. Jesus knew that the person needs to be touched, to be accepted, to be embraced. Jesus wanted to tell this person, you are no longer an alien. I welcome you back to the community. Jesus gave him the physical, tangible love, acceptance. That's why a person who has never hugged is so broken, so wounded. That's why sometimes when a person is in bereavement, a person is crying, you don't have to say very much. Just give the person a big hug. We need to be touched to feel love and acceptance. And Jesus did that. That is why when Jesus comes to heal us, it's more than physical. Many people are asking for physical healing. But the real healing that is needed is emotional, spiritual healing. That is why those who are healed physically, because they are not healed spiritually, their sickness will come back. Because their heart and their soul are not healed. So before you ask for physical healing, you should be asking for spiritual, emotional healing. And you must ask in faith. What does this faith entail? This faith entails listening to the Word of God, believing in the Word of God. To have faith in Jesus is more than just believing Jesus could heal us. To have faith in Jesus means to say, I will now listen to you. I will follow you. And when you follow Jesus, you are also integrated back to the community. That's why after Jesus healed him, he said, go and show yourself to the priest. Jesus was not interested to get the credit that he has healed him. You go and see the priest. Why? Because only the priest can readmit him back to the community. And we all need the community. We cannot be alone. Again, you see, Catholics, they are all alone. They don't belong to a community of faith. That is why their faith is weak. And they will lose the faith. If you want to be strong, not only you are reconciled with God, you must be reconciled with the community that will give you strength to resist sin and grow in holiness.